Dre all day.
Turn the volume up. You are now tuned into the show where you learn the discipline to show up day after day to do the work, the confidence to put yourself out there boldly and authentically, and the mental toughness to continue showing up, doing the work, putting yourself out there, even when the success you've expected to achieve is yet to be achieved. And on top of all this, you get a huge dose of personal initiative. That's the go-getter energy that moves you to make things happen instead of waiting for things to happen. We put all this together in one bundle. What you get is the mindset, the method, the philosophy, the book, the show, known as Work on Your Game. My name is Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day, and welcome to the show. Today's topic is how to compartmentalize in life. Compartmentalize. So a lot of syllables in that word. The definition of compartmentalizing is to divide into sections or categories. Now, why is this a subject? Why am I talking about this? As we all have a lot of stuff going on in our lives, usually a lot of different stuff in different areas and with different people, compartmentalization is a skill of being able to put some things aside when it's time to, so that you can focus on some other thing, some other area, and then bringing back to our consciousness those other things when it's necessary. In other words, when you're not at work, not being at work, or when you're not at school, not being at school, when you're not playing your sport, putting away mentally all those things that are going on in your sport, being able to just turn it on and off with whatever it is you're doing or not doing at those specific times, in those specific places, and with those specific people, and with or without, or not in those specific times, and bringing them to our consciousness when necessary. In other words, compartmentalization is about focusing on and or forgetting things when necessary, and doing so smoothly and seamlessly. All right, it shouldn't take you a whole lot of mental work to be able to turn off what happened in one place while you try to bring your focus to another place. Or let me state that in a different way. I want to help you through what you're going to learn in today's class, how to not allow whatever's happening in area A to bleed into what you need to do in area B. And maybe there are times you want it to bleed in, but this topic here today, compartmentalization, is about you being able to put aside what's happening in area A in order for you to focus on what's going on in area B, and not allowing what's happening in either area to get in the way or contaminate what's happening in an area that it has nothing to do with. To keep the business over there, to keep the family stuff over here, to keep the work stuff over there, to keep the school stuff, the sports stuff, the hobby stuff, the things that go on with this friend, the things that are going on with this person in their specific places, and not allowing them to get into areas that they're not supposed to be into. That's what compartmentalization is all about. And that's today's topic. So let's get into it. Compartmentalizing. Point number one. Again, the topic is how to compartmentalize in life. Wherever you are, be there. I'm pausing for emphasis so you can think about that. Wherever you are, and I mean the physical location that you're at, or whatever task you happen to be doing in that moment, do that task and or be in that place. Whatever you're doing, do it. In other words, be present. This is an important point, especially nowadays, because we all have these handheld digital devices that have 20 different tools on them, 50 different tools, depending on how many apps you have, all at the same time. We can check our bank accounts. We can message back and forth with somebody. We can respond to a text message. We can send an email. We can measure something. We can do mathematical calculations. And there's a bunch of other things we can do. We could send money back and forth between people, and a whole bunch of other things I'm not even thinking of off the top of my head right now. We can record a video. We can record some audio. We can publish a video. We can publish a blog post. We can write a damn book. We can read a book, listen to a book. We can do all of these things all with one device that fits into our pockets. It fits in the palms of our hands. Therefore, we could literally be mentally, I'm talking here, in 50 different places all at the exact same time. You could have 50 different apps open on your phone right now that are doing 50 different tasks while you're right there in one place. What I'm offering you here in point number one is to be more present. That whatever it is you're doing, doesn't matter what it is, but whatever you're doing, just do that thing. Allow yourself to just be where you are. This is the essence of compartmentalizing, as being present keeps things from other areas from bleeding into the parts of your life that they shouldn't be in. Like I talked about at the beginning of this episode. It is hard for many of us to be present these days because we have all these options for occupying / distracting ourselves. So we are rarely mentally in one place at the same time that we're in a place physically. We could be in a place physically, but mentally we're somewhere else because we have all these options. Not only on our devices, but forget about the device, just what's going on in your mind. When you have all these options on your device and you know the device is always just an arm's length away, even if you're not on the device, something that you did on the device or something that you know is waiting for you on the device, or maybe that little beep or notification sound you hear from the device, even if you're not using it at this moment, has your mind somewhere other than where you physically are at that time. Any of you know anyone who's been guilty of that? Yeah, you know someone who's guilty of that, right? There are some tools I'm going to share in point number 2 that'll help you with this. But being present is one of the best things you can do to develop a little bit more mental clarity. Maybe a lot more mental clarity, depending on how well you develop your presentness or presence as a skill. Mental clarity is when you get all the junk out of your mind, and understand that junk is relative. If I'm trying to focus on my business, whatever I have going on at home, or whatever's going on with my family, or whatever's going on, let's say in a basketball game that I played in 3 weeks ago, all of those are junk at that moment. Relatively speaking, they're junk to my business. Now, if I'm playing a sport, then thinking about what's going on at my job, or thinking about what's going on across the street, or what my neighbor said to me 2 weeks ago, all of those are junk when it comes to me focusing on my sport. So junk is relative. Whatever is not relevant to what you're doing right there in the moment where you're present is junk. Mental clarity is your ability to eliminate the junk, or maybe not even have any junk to eliminate. How great would that be? But a lot of us don't have this ability, or we maybe have rendered ourselves, we've rendered ourselves to the point that we think it's impossible for us to develop this skill simply because we have so many things going on all at the same time. We're in one place physically. We still have that limit, at least as of this recording. We have this limit of only being in one place physically, but mentally we could be in a million different places. And these devices that we all have allow us to be in a million different places at the same time. And here's the even more inconvenient truth is that we're getting better and better at doing it. We're getting more skilled at being in more than one place at a time. So there are more and more people out there who believe they have the skill of multitasking. They have the skill of doing more than one thing at the same time, and because you think you're doing it pretty well. And maybe you are doing it well, relatively speaking, compared to other people, but you're not doing it well, relatively speaking, compared to how well you could be doing it if you weren't focusing on anything else at the same time. So while you may be doing good compared to everyone else, you're not doing good compared to you. But the only way you'll ever find out that you're not doing good compared to you is if you actually do the comparison. You don't know how good or how badly what you're doing is working until you compare it to something else. You got to go through the scientific method of finding out, does this actually work? That's why you had a control group and you have the experimental group. You got the control and the variation. You got to split test the things that you're doing. So if you think you're doing pretty good at writing because you're doing 10 other things at the same time that you're writing, and your writing comes out pretty good. What if you didn't do those 9 other things or those 10 other things while you're writing and just did writing? How good would your writing be then? Might be a whole lot better, but you'll never know. You had to test it and you had to find out. So wherever you are, be in that place at that time. You'll be more fully present. You'll be able to focus more, and your subconscious mind will be able to deliver you more insights in that space, simply because your mind is a lot more quiet than it would be if you were trying to do 10 things at the same time, or at least if you think you're doing 10 things at the same time right now. Multitasking, which is actually a misnomer. It's impossible to multitask. Human brain can only focus on one thing at a time. Point number 2. Today's topic is how to compartmentalize in life. You must learn to, quote, put things away, close quote. This is something that I also touched on in the introduction here. For example, it's hard to sleep. Maybe you've experienced this. It's hard to sleep when you have anxieties or worries about certain situations in your life, and things that you think are really important to you. If you have anxiety about them, or you're worried about them, or you're fearful or nervous about something, it's hard to stay asleep. And this could be a positive nervousness, or a negative nervousness, which we usually call anxiety or worry. And you can't just make stuff go away just because you have other things going on, right? When you have anxieties or nervousness or some type of fears in your life, you can't just snap your fingers and have those things go away just because it's time to go to bed. So what you must do, here's what you got to do. You got to come up with some processes for clearing your mind. Some people like to meditate. Meditation is a great process for clearing your mind, something that you can do anywhere. You can do it anytime. You don't have to sit down cross-legged. I talked about this a few episodes ago. I don't do that. You can learn how to meditate even while you're wide awake, alert, and doing your thing. It's just a matter of meditation. It's just a matter of relaxing yourself, relaxing your body, relaxing your mind, relaxing your spirit. And if you can relax any one of them, then the other ones will follow suit. So some people develop this habit of meditation. They develop this skill through this practice of meditation. If you have never meditated in your life, I suggest you go grab one of those meditation apps. The majority of them are free. You can get a meditation app and start just trying it. And you can meditate for as much time as you want. You can meditate for 1 minute. You don't have to do a whole hour, but there's an ancient saying, a philosophical saying that a person was told. There was a really busy guy. He was a businessman. He had all these things going on. He had family stuff. He had work stuff. And his schedule was just full all the time. And he went to this guru to help him out and to try to get some more mental clarity. And the guru told him, well, look, you need to meditate for 15 minutes a day. It will help you get more mental clarity. And this busy man said, well, there's no way I can set aside 15 minutes of my day to meditate because I'm doing this thing and this thing and this thing. There's no way that's ever going to work out. And the guru replied to him. He said, okay, then if you don't have 15 minutes to meditate, then you need to meditate for an hour every single day. And the point that he was making is if you don't have a little bit of time to get your mind in the right space, then that means you need to make a lot of time to get your mind in the right space. So meditation is one thing. Another thing that people like to do is journal. The thing about journaling is that it allows you to take whatever is in your mind and put it down on paper. And the way that it works, at least that I've read people say, that when you take the things that you're thinking and you write them down, now your unconscious mind understands, okay, I've gotten those thoughts out. They're down on paper. They're somewhere. I don't have to remember them. Your conscious mind is thinking, your subconscious mind rather is thinking, okay, I don't have to remember these things anymore because at least I've written them down. So if I happen to forget or I stop pressing them to the consciousness, then I know that they're somewhere, and then your subconscious mind will quiet down. And your conscious mind will quiet down. You won't have those anxieties as much anymore because you've written it down. You put it somewhere that it still exists. You didn't just forget it or try to act like it's not happening. You put it somewhere and now it's there. The mental workbook is a journal that I created myself to allow you to get control of your conscious mind through your subconscious thought patterns. And you can get the mental workbook at workonmygame.com/workbook. Some people like to do therapy. Therapy is similar to a journal. It's taking what's in your mind and putting it down on paper, so to speak, so that it's no longer just dancing around in your mind. You've let it out in some way. So in journaling, you're letting it out by writing it down. In therapy, you're letting it out by telling it to another person. You could do therapy either by telling it to another person. You could do therapy by just turning on the audio recorder on your phone and just recording whatever your thoughts are and saving them for yourself, for nobody else to know about. And they all have something in common. You're letting all these things, meditation, journaling, therapy, they are letting the things that are on your mind go. You're letting them out in some way so that you can relax and focus on anything other than just the things that are on your mind, at least in that moment, or the things that have been dominating your thoughts. And unconsciously, your mind then understands that, okay, these things have been addressed in some way. So it's not going to keep bugging you with these same things as you try to work, or you try to enjoy yourself, or you try to spend time with your kids, or you try to eat dinner, or you try to sleep. Your mind's not going to keep trying to press it into your mind, these things that you have not addressed. So just addressing the things that are on your mind in some way, either through meditation, allowing yourself to see the thoughts. I heard someone say that when you meditate, you're going to have, especially those of you who've never done it before, when you first try it, you're going to have all these thoughts racing through your head as you're trying to sit quietly. The last thing your mind wants to do is be quiet. I heard Tim Ferriss refer to it as the monkey mind. It's just jumping around all over the place. It's not going to calm down. It's like a dog that has a whole lot of energy because it hasn't been walked. It hasn't been let out of the house often enough. It's going to be jumping around like that the first time you do it. But eventually, as long as you stay calm and you stay relaxed, you just allow the thoughts to go by the same way that if you were laying down outside and looking up at the sky and you saw the clouds going by, the same way you allow the clouds to just slowly float by, you can allow the thoughts to slowly float by. And as you continue to practice, this is why meditation is called, is a practice, not a science. It's not something that you master. It's just something that you continue to do and you continue to work at. Eventually, the thoughts will stop jumping up and down and trying to get your attention because you are not giving them attention. Or you're not giving them the reinforcement, so they're not going to keep doing the same things. So meditation, journaling, therapy, they all allow you to let things out of your mind so that you can do whatever else you're trying to do, like go to sleep, like eat dinner and enjoy it, like spend time with people who matter to you, who have nothing to do with these other things that are going on in your mind, or do another task that has nothing to do with that, that's going to require your complete focus for you to be at your best. So look into these ways and figure out the ways, or try all of them. Maybe you could do a combination of them all that will allow you to compartmentalize what's going on in your life and just let it off of your head. Trying to hold everything in your head, as advanced and complex as the human brain is, it's just like a computer. Eventually it's going to start slowing down, and you're going to start getting, any of you who use an Apple computer, you get that spinning rainbow wheel when you're just overloading the computer and it needs to be reset. It's the same thing with your mind. You never allow your mind a hard restart, or you never update the software in your mind, and eventually that computer is going to be running so slow and you're going to be wondering what the hell is going on, and you just don't restart the computer. You just keep pushing it harder and harder, demanding that the computer work, even though you haven't offered it a reset, even though you haven't upgraded the software. But you got to upgrade the software through meditating, calming yourself down, journaling, therapy. These are the things that you must do for your mind. This is mental health 101, these things right here. Point number 3. Today's topic is how to compartmentalize in life. Wherever you are at, as I already told you to be there and be present, here's what else you got to do while you're at that place. You must empty your chamber. What I mean by emptying your chamber, it connects to being present, like I talked about in point number 1, but it also means not only being there, but giving your best to the situation that you're in right now in the moment, giving your all where you are today, where you are at this present moment, so that you lower the possibility that you will later be preoccupied with thoughts of what you didn't do or didn't say or didn't complete in the place you are right now. In other words, if you're at work right now, give your best possible effort to everything that you're doing at work right now, so that when you get off of work and you get home, or you get to whatever that thing is you're going to be doing tonight, you're not preoccupied with thoughts of, damn, I didn't complete this thing at work. I didn't finish all the stuff I was supposed to do at work. I didn't really get anything done at work today, even though I was there for 8 hours sitting at my desk. What the hell did I do? You don't want these nagging thoughts of things undone, things uncompleted, all these open loops. All right, the more loops you're able to close, the more closure your mind will have. And it's your decision what's an open loop and what's not. So if you're in your mind thinking, damn, I didn't complete this, I didn't finish this is unfinished business that I haven't gotten to yet, that's because for whatever reason, you didn't empty your chamber there. You didn't use all the energy that you had in that space. You didn't do everything that you needed to do in that particular space during that particular time. So you need to be more demanding of yourself, more disciplined and demanding of yourself to say, and more uncompromising with yourself to get things done the way they're supposed to be done, where and when they're supposed to be done, so that when you are finished in that space, if you have a time limit, for example, or a deadline, for example, either one that you set yourself preferably, or one that comes from someone else, when it's time to move on, you can mentally move on as well as physically move on, knowing that you gave everything that you had to that situation, knowing that there's no unfinished business remaining in that space. The more often you do that, the easier it will be for you to move on from point A to point B. And we did a whole episode on moving on a couple episodes back. If you are present wherever you are, you lower the possibility you'll be preoccupied later with thoughts of things undone. When you've done everything that you came to do, it's pretty easy to leave, isn't it? Now, it's hard to leave a situation when you haven't completed everything, when you haven't done everything you're supposed to do, and you're looking back at it with that R word, regrets. Regrets of omission, things that were not done, things that were not said, things that are not completed. Regrets of commission, we can live with, because at least we know we did something. At least we know we tried. At least we know we gave the effort. At least we know we put everything into it that we could. Regrets of omission, those are the ones that will eat away at you from the inside. All right, you don't want too many of those. Let's recap today's topic, which is how to compartmentalize in life. The definition of compartmentalize is to divide into sections or categories. And we all have a lot of stuff going on in our lives. We had to develop the skill of being able to put things aside and focus on one area while we're in that one area and do it smoothly. Point number 1, wherever you are, be there. Whatever you're doing, do it. In other words, be present. This is the essence of compartmentalizing. It keeps things from one area from bleeding into things that you're doing in another area. And this is getting harder and harder for all of us to do these days because we have all these options for occupying or distracting ourselves. So we're rarely in one place at one time, both physically and mentally. Point number 2, learn to put things away. It's hard to go to sleep when you have anxiety or worries about situations, and you can't just snap your fingers and say, stop worrying, or tell yourself, stop worrying. That rarely works. It actually makes you do it even more. So you must come up with some type of process or use some tool that will allow you to clear your mind. Meditation is one of them. Allow the thoughts to just go by, allow them to float by like clouds. The thoughts will appreciate being seen and they'll calm down. Some people like to journal. It takes whatever's in your mind, put it down on paper or put it on video. The mental workbook is a way you can do that. Again, at workonmygame.com/workbook. Some people do therapy, where they go talk to another person, talk to your phone, talk to your video camera, just to let those thoughts out. They all have one thing in common. Meditation, journaling, therapy, is that you're taking the thoughts that are in your mind and you're letting them out in some way so that then you can relax and focus on something other than just those thoughts. Unconsciously, your mind now understands that these thoughts have been addressed, they've been acknowledged in some way, and then they will allow you to go do other things instead of dominating your mind. Point number 3, wherever you're at, being present, make sure you empty your chamber. Give your best and give your all wherever you are in every moment so that you lower the possibility that you're looking back on a situation like, damn, I didn't complete that thing. I didn't finish that. You don't want to have too many open loops in your mind. Close every loop by giving all your energy, giving all your focus and presence where you are in the moment so that when it's done, it's done. It's actually done at the same time that you are done so that you don't have these regrets of omission, things that you did not complete, because they will eat away at you either on the short term in the micro or in the long term in the macro of your life. Don't make that mistake. Work on your game. Dre all day.
Hey, this is Dre all day. If you enjoy this mental game stuff that I talk about on video every day, then I put together a simple master class that will give you one key tip for developing what I call the Bulletproof Mindset. All you need to do is go to workonmygame.com/bulletproof. Is the link right here, and it's down below in the video descriptions. Just click on it, take you right to the page. I'm going to give you that video. It's about 20 minutes long. This masterclass I put together, one key tip for developing a bulletproof mindset. And when you get that special masterclass free video, I'm also going to make you a special offer to get the full Bulletproof Mindset experience. So just go to that link that you see right here, and I'm going to show you how to develop that Bulletproof Mindset right now. So if you like this video that you just watched, I'm going to show you how to take it to the highest possible level. You ready for that? Let's do it.